to you, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. But guess what? It also means your truck is now made of an extremely fingerprinty material, and it also doesn't have normal door handles, so you just cannot keep it clean if you use this thing daily. And then steel just happens to be really hard to manipulate. Apparently Tesla had to create new machines strong enough to stamp this material together. There's a reason why there aren't a bunch of other cars rolling around looking like this. So when I say in the autofocus review that low-VIN Cybertrucks will have low-VIN production issues, that's not actually new to Tesla. They've had to spin up manufacturing for different types of vehicles before, and usually the first few thousand of them aren't pretty. But then they learn from those issues, and then 1 or 2 years down the road, they're making millions of the thing, and they're much better quality control. So this particular Cybertruck is a dual motor, all-wheel drive. This was borrowed from Ridge. Shout out to Ridge, by the way. I'll leave a link below if you aren't caught up on my partnership with them, but on delivery, this one had a pretty big panel gap on the driver's side door. And, you know, I never really care about panel gaps, but this one in particular actually started growing and getting worse. It literally looked like the door was open, and then it started making weird noises while closing, until one day it actually broke. So it turns out it wasn't a panel gap, it was actually a manufacturing issue where the bolts that hold this latch in place were actually not torqued tight enough, and they loosened over time and it fell out. And so Miles actually had the bright idea to just gaff tape the latch securely back in place, and now when you close the door, lines up perfectly. So Elon Musk addressed this on Twitter after my video. Apparently only 15 trucks had this issue, so lucky me, I guess. So if you are one of the few, then you can apparently just take this to a Tesla service center and they'll be able to fix it in no time as long as you get an appointment. The Cyber Beast that I took delivery of under my name has been flawless so far. But I think the point I'm trying to make is these early Cybertrucks, as with any other early Tesla, they're going to find, I guarantee you, more issues like this, and they'll work on them and fix them. But yeah, this Foundation Series badge right here, kind of clouded in the Tesla community because it basically means you got one of the first few, but it also kind of means willing beta tester in a way. So, you know, these materials and this new stamping technique and all this should eventually make the vehicles much easier to produce in mass and cheaper, but that's eventually. All right, next feature, truck stuff. I'm talking about the theoretical reasons why someone would logically buy a truck over any other vehicle, like a van or an SUV or a car. And that would be for towing, hauling, and off-roading. And I know it looks like this truck would be amazing at all of that stuff, but I'm gonna say that this one, it's overrated. It's overrated here, and I'll tell you why. Now don't get me wrong, this Cybertruck, very capable. It's much more capable than any other Tesla, obviously. I can confirm it handles winter weather really well, like it has a heated windshield wiper and the heated mirrors, and the door can in fact open in icy weather. They added a Wade mode that lifts the suspension all the way up and pressurizes the battery so that you can drive through really deep water. It's insane. And it also has off-road driving modes and towing modes right here in the settings. There's also only one wheel and tire option right now with Cybertruck. Every single Cybertruck ships with the same Goodyear Territory Wrangler RT tire, whatever. It's a pretty popular tire, and they ship them on, you know, Jeep Grand Cherokees and F-150s all the time. And it's reinforced and it's capable of some light off-roading, but I think if we're being honest, most people will be driving this thing mostly on the street, like a glorified SUV. So here's a number to think about, 63. 63 is the percent of truck drivers who admit to rarely or never towing anything at all. And that's just the ones that admit it. Like, look at this chart. This is from a survey of F-150 owners, so the most popular truck in the country. People are almost never actually towing with these things. So before you leave a comment that this thing sucks for towing, yeah, they know. We know. Everyone buying it kind of should already know. If you're buying a truck specifically for towing, then you have a short list of trucks you're considering, and none of them are electric. But I think my main realization with this thing is there are millions of pre-orders for this thing right now. Because it's Tesla, it's going to be very popular. This is going to be a lot of people's first truck. And it will come with all of the first truck realizations. Like, to a lot of people, the Cybertruck looks absolutely huge, but it's actually smaller than an F-150. And these people, when they get the truck, they'll think they're invincible and they can drive off-road and just go wherever they want without even thinking about strategically going certain routes or airing down the tires that literally come at 50 PSI from the factory. They're gonna start getting stuck in all sorts of embarrassing situations, which means, of course, then there will be countless articles written about them because, of course, no other truck has ever been stuck in the snow before. And it's just, sorry, I'm definitely getting ahead of myself, but look, we will be using a Cybertruck at our video production studio for a lot of the same reasons that we've used an R1T. It's got a tow hitch, it's spacious, it hauls a lot of gear, it's quick,